Let's start, everyone. Okay. First of all, thank you so much for joining us today. A very warm welcome to each of you who are currently with us in the Zoom room and also who will be watching this replays later for joining us today at the very first global members meeting of All About Curating. I'm Mazabin Haq. I'm the founder and CEO of AAC. Today, I invited you all to the Zoom room to share the exciting future plans that we designed for the platform and how you all can be a part of it. Before diving into the details, quick housekeeping. Please keep your microphones muted when the presentation is going on. If you have any question, please save it until the Q&A session at the very end. After the presentation, I would like to also invite you all to open your microphones and present yourself if you feel comfortable. And also, please feel free to share your thoughts and ideas and suggestions or critics or maybe good wishes for All About Curating. We will be collecting all the information, everything that you share, and we will be reflecting on them in the future in the best possible way that we can. So for today's agenda, first, I would like to introduce myself, my journey, who I am, this person that you have been knowing maybe through DMs or Facebook or other social media platforms. And then I will be sharing what is all about curating and how it all started, who are we now, and who are we becoming. How can you be a part of the long-term and short-term goals? And at the end, we are going to have a Q&A sessions and where I would be very glad to hear from you so that it's not really a one-way monologue from my side, but also I want to hear from you and your opinion and how would you feel about it, just in a very casual, frankly way. So, okay. So that is me. And as some of you may know, I'm Mazabin. My pronouns are she, her. Originally, I'm from Bangladesh, and I'm living in Europe since 2016. Currently, I'm based between Berlin, Germany, and Dhaka, Bangladesh. I'm an art curator, writer, and editor with a background in transdisciplinary arts, engineering, and photography. If you're doubting yourself, if you really heard the term engineering or not, yes, you heard it right. I did my undergrad in civil engineering, and after graduation, I worked in the construction sector for a while, surely a field where I did not have the space for my creative expression. It wasn't for me. So I changed my career and I pursued photography. And if you're wondering how was it, how was the experience for a girl in her early 20s in Bangladesh to change the career from engineering to photography, I tell you, it was an interesting experience and it was considered as complete madness. And but for me, it all made complete sense. Of course, I never want to do anything just for the sake of doing it. And even now, I only pursue things when it feels right. And I knew in my bones that what I was getting into, and I was very, very ready to take that leap of faith. And I could not be more proud of my younger self to be able to take that decision, and which literally changed the course of my life in the most beautiful way possible. So while studying photography in Bangladesh in 2011, I started working with different art organizations and festivals and also organization of creative events, which also led me to work with Bengal Foundation in 2013, which is one of the biggest private art foundation in Bangladesh. And I was working as their assistant curator of the visual arts program. So while working in Bengal, I started exploring the international scene. And because I always wanted to work globally with different people from different countries, communities, and backgrounds. My father actually would always encourage us to go beyond the borders, and he would always say, "The further you go from the boundaries of Bangladesh, the better you know how big and diverse the world is." And yeah, I think, yeah, he's the one who kind of truly instills this notion of globality in me. So jumping back to few years later, so I moved to Berlin in 2021, and before moving to Berlin, I lived in 9 different cities in 4 different countries. It was hell of a journey, but I loved every single bit of it. And yeah, in my current curatorial practice, I'm based, as I mentioned, that I'm based in Berlin. I look into the intersection of art, science, and technology. For example, artists who works with AI, robotics, neuroscience, and other forms of scientific and technological intersection. For the last 2 years, I curate a transdisciplinary program here in Germany in collaboration with Plus Lab, with wonderful colleagues and collaborators. Some of them are present here with us today. I see you. Yeah, some other project currently I'm also involved in is called Sensoriality, Art and Neuroscience Through Our Senses. If you are in Berlin or somewhere around on February 3rd, I would like to welcome you to join us at Alte Münze. So we are inviting artists and neuroscientists on the same platform, and it's a combination of festival, panel discussion, academic panel discussion, and also performances and exhibition. In addition to all of these, another project I'm also currently involved in is I'm working in the editorial team of a publication project by MoMA New York. It's an anthology of primary writings on the modern and contemporary art practices in South Asia in the 20th century. And it will be published in the end of 2024 or early 2025. In a nutshell, that's about me. I'm involved in so many other kinds and projects, kinds of different projects, and I would be very happy to share them all with you, perhaps in a different setting. So, yeah, I don't want to make it all about me, but that's enough of me or about me. And let's talk about what actually brings us all here today, which is the All About Curating platform. And so, before we talk about who we are becoming, it is important to know who we were, how it all started, and what was the intention to create All About Curating, and basically the genesis of All About Curating. So, in 2021, we started as a humble Facebook group with the name Curatorial Opportunities. At that time, I was almost at the end of my master's program, and I was looking for opportunities. And as curators, you know how tiring and time consuming it is to find information regarding curatorial opportunities only. One needs to scroll through like pages after pages on the upper artist opportunity platforms, and then yeah, then you may or may not find something. So that's one reality. Another reality, what I noticed that was that people tend to have this tendency of safeguarding information. Like I know something and that stays with me and no one else in the world needs to know. And for me, that was very, very, very wrong. And I got really angry and decided to create an open group on Facebook and started sharing everything I stumbled upon relevant to curatorial practice. If I knew something, you all knew the same thing. So that's how it all started. And I never did any promotion or whatsoever to promote the group. People started joining in and also started sharing links, information regarding art curation. And today we are a community of nearly 6,000 people, quite literally from all around the world. So this is where we are at now. And I would like to share with you where we would like to be and what's our short term and long term goals. Um, and 1 second. So who we are now, as I mentioned, we are this community of 6,000 people, which is so exciting. And yeah, when I was admitting, I was registering all of your information. It's just brought me so much joy to see that how diverse our group is. And yeah, so who are we becoming? We are about to become the one stop and centralized platform for art curators. The platform is primarily designed for art curators, although the mission of the platform is to become a centralized platform to foster meaningful collaboration between artists and curators. And so what do I mean by that? So as you know that in the Facebook group now we are sharing this opportunity for art curators. By opportunity, I mean like residencies, travel grants, research grants, education program, like online courses, etc., etc. It's all regarding art curators. And that was the intention to keep the group focused only for curators or things that are relevant to curation. And however, we have a big community of artists in our platform as well. So this is where we would like to expand, and we would also like to provide opportunities for artists, information on education in art curation, books, magazines, blogs, publications on art curation. So that would be the thesaurus, information on artists and curatorial collectives around the world, a spotlight section for artists and curatorial talks on our YouTube channel. There will be a blog, and where all of you are invited to contribute. And there will be a forum. As you know, that on Facebook, it's nearly impossible to categorize or organize information and in a meaningful way. And it's not really optimized for the purpose that All About Curating is planning or to design, is to provide the features. And yeah, there is no way to categorize or to filter or to bookmark, etc., etc. You know the deal. So it's a mess, and sometimes I feel really bad that, well, maybe I'm sharing something. The deadline is in 3 months or something, and there is no way that to track it back unless you bookmark it on your own somewhere else. But that's what we want to do, to bring everything and centralizing everything in one platform. So, how we are strategizing the growth phases of All About Curating. So, we planned to strategize the whole thing in 3 phases. The phase one would be formation. Phase two is the expansion, and phase three is the destination. That's where we want to go. Um, so this is the goal for the tasks for phase one. In phase one, in the formation phase, we would like to create these 7 circles. One circle is the AAC Board of Advisors. What do I mean by that? If you are a professor or in an academic setting, or if you're working in a museum or art institution as a curator or director, you are most welcome to join forces with us to be the mentor of the platform. And there would be 6 other circles for as AAC ambassadors. So, and who are those? So one circle would be the circle for data collection. As I briefly just gave you an overview that what kind of data we would be collecting. And it's a lot of data, it's a lot of work. I have been doing it by myself, but this is not one person job. And yeah, as they say that it takes a village to raise a child. So I'm envisioning all about curating platform as a tribe child, how a friend of mine nicely portrayed it, and to really raise this child together actually with everyone. So one circle would be the circle of data collection. Another circle would be business development. Another would be responsible for grant and funding. Another is marketing and promotion. Another is social media and website. And last one would be editorial for writers and editors. And how we are going to function. So, um, because there are a lot of people involved in this, and a lot of you have showed interest to join forces on different circles already. I had the opportunity to talk to a few of you in one-on-one setting via Zoom calls. And yeah, so we would like to strategize the whole thing, the whole venture, kind of embracing the concept of Verein. Verein is a German Verein. So if maybe some of you know, maybe some of you don't. So a Verein is basically an association of like-minded people. So what happens that, yeah, it's very common in the art scene in Germany. However, a Verein is not only for art association. It can be for sports. It can be for motorbikes or whatever. You get the idea. So for a fair ride, a lot of people, like-minded people, they come together and they join forces to realize a common goal or vision, and they divide responsibilities among them, and they take turns to coordinate and to take responsibility and to make that happen. And oftentimes that happens that once a project, there are common interests on certain projects. So we form a team, let's say a team of, let's say 10 people, 20 people, whatever, depending on the project. And then we apply for grants and funds. And then we find a way to honor our time so that it's not only a volunteer basis work, but it's also a self-sustaining process, because it just cannot be go on a volunteer basis forever. So that's in a nutshell what a Ferrine is. So here on this screen, what we see here, that I created these different folders. Shared, these are all shared folders for different circles. And for example, if somebody is interested to be in the editorial circle, they can join. And for example, for the one of the publications, let's say I'm just giving random examples. For example, I wrote a foreword for the publication, and then I share it with the editorial circle, and everybody put their common inputs that, okay, what do they think, or how do they think that it can make better. And I'm giving my example, it can be anyone else as well, that anybody from the circle, let's say, is in charge or takes responsibility for certain tasks. It can be writing, it can be project development, business development, whatever. And then they share their text or their article or whatever it is with the common circle, and then we make it better together. That's the common idea of working in the circles. Here you can see an example on the right, that it is list of education programs, for example, BA, MA, PhD, online courses, and others. And on the bottom, you can see an example of a spreadsheet that I have been developing, and also few members from our community has already volunteered to expand this. And I'm really, really grateful and thankful to you, and you know who you are. So yeah, this is a one example of how we can work in circles as a community. So what are the goals for phase one? I mentioned there would be three phases. Phase one is the formation, phase two is the expansion, and phase three is the destination. So phase one, the formation phase, our first goal would be to form different circles. And after the meeting, very soon, I will be sharing with you all a Google form to ask if you are interested to join in any circles, and you can pick which circles you are interested in. And one person can be involved with maximum two circles. I was having a great conversation with someone who works in a art publishing house, and they were also interested to. Of course, they're a master of editorial works, but they also wanted to also learn that, okay, but how does this grant and funding works, for example. So for them, the one choice, the first choice would be like the editorial circle, and the second choice would be the grant and funding circle, so that we can also learn from each other. And it's not only, the idea is not only to do things to contribute to the platform itself, but also learning in the process from each other. So as I mentioned, number one goal would be forming circles. Number two would be define strategies for each circle. Number three would be data collection, which is a massive work, a hugely important work. Number four would be building the website, which is already on process, and also one of our beautiful community member, who's a UX UI designer, volunteered to for the design of the platform. And yeah, we are very excited, very excited for that. And soon you will know all the names and everything, who they are. I'm not sharing all the names right now because I had to do a lot and I did not have the time to take permission from them. So that's why I'm not sharing the names. But you guys know who you are, and you know also that how grateful I am to you. And yeah, number five would be building the thesaurus. And the thesaurus, what I meant that all the information on curatorial programs, information on books on curatorial studies or curation itself, or artists and curatorial collectives around the world. So it's the yeah. So this is like basically the data collection and building the thesaurus is yeah, it's very close to each other. So that's phase one. And in the phase two, which is the phase for expansion, and in phase two, we will be offering residency program from AAC platform. We will be curating, we will be organizing exhibitions curated by AAC members. We would be also offering workshops. Some of you have already reached out to me about the topic of the workshop that you would like to offer through the group, and others. And others, I put it as others because I'm really open to learn from you and also hear from you that if you have any suggestion, if you would like to offer something that is not already mentioned in here, so that we can all incorporate everything in the in phase two, basically. And phase three, our destination. So who we want to become. We want to become an online school on art curation and on curation and art practices. And we would also like to publish our own publication on curation. I'm not going to give too much details on that because I have some ideas about that, and I have developed and strategized, and I'm still building it. And I'm also very much open to um, learn from you all. And yeah, we can also build the ideas together. Some of you also, again, shared that you what kind of courses you would like to design. And to some of you, I already replied. To others, I could not. But yeah, I will do it very soon, I promise. And so yeah, these are the phases in general. And here. And so you have the idea about phase one, two, and three, and how we are going to strategize, because strategy is very, very crucial when we are dealing with a huge number of people that we are talking about. And so after phase one, as you might have noticed, that these are the goals for phase one. After forming circles, data collection, define strategies for each circle, building the website, building the thesauros. So phase one, you can also understand is or think of it as a trial period for hours. And if we are resonating to each other, how we are doing as a community, if our thoughts and wishes and everything is aligned, if we are being respectful to everyone else's opinion and comments and wishes. So phase one is really the pilot or trial period, let's say. And what will happen after phase one? That we will be dividing ourselves in three groups. So board of advisors, I with me and also in administration, and a core team of every circle, from every circle. The AAC ambassadors, like how you have seen here, that in the beginning, you all would be joining as AAC ambassadors and AAC board of advisors. So AAC ambassadors would always be there. However, when it would be, to apply for grants and funds as a community, we need to form a team. And this would be the people in the core team with whom we would be developing the community in the next, in the first phase. And together with them, we will be, we will move forward with different projects and realizing our goals and visions together. Um, I would like to stop here now because, yes, there are a lot of other information about what are the things that is going to be like paid, or what is not to be, what is going to be unpaid. And one thing I can tell, that um, in phase one, all these things that the AAC platform will be offering, the opportunities for artists, curators, information on education, information about the collective, all the external information and the blogs and the forums, these are always going to be free. These are always, always, always going to be free, because this is how the group started. And I want everyone to find value in the group, because when I started, as a broke graduate student, even paying for 10 euros every month was a lot for me. And also, it's not all about like the amount of money, but it's also about the technicalities. For example, from Bangladesh, if you don't have an international credit card, even if it's $1 or €1, it's not possible to apply for a lot of open calls, let's say. So I always tried to circulate or disseminate information that were free to access. So these are the features. These are always going to be free for anyone, whoever would like to find values or find relevant information in the group, basically. And these are the ones that what we will be offering in phase two. Some of them would be paid, some of them would be unpaid. For example, if we can find a grant to host a residency program, the residency program will be free for the AAC community members for sure. If we don't find a grant, then it might be paid. But our goal is to find a grant, and from yes, there are certain grant structures that we can talk later in a different setting. Um, so yeah, that's more or less everything and how we wanna get started. and there's this big arrow that says maybe points to the next, but this next is actually to move next forward or move further together. And so far, that's the information about the website and what has been designed and planned. And now I would like to listen from you. And yeah, thank you everyone for listening to me talking about all these big visions. And yeah, and tell me, how do you feel about it? And I want to know, yeah, how, if you see yourself, first of all, being part of this community. If yes, maybe how. You don't have to say it right away, but you can also write to me later. um yes, that's all, and I'm gonna stop sharing for now so that I can see all your faces again. Wow, there are so many comments. Uh, yes, if you have anything to say, or if you would like to share anything to the community, or if you would like to introduce yourself, please raise your hand and turn on your mic and go ahead. And if you don't have any question, then that would be all for today. But yeah, it's up to you. What would you like to do? Hi, Ina. You have to unmute yourself.
It's done. Hi.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you. I have one question for the moment. So for the circles, is it also possible like to join without experience, just if one has curiosity, or what was your idea about this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the idea, to learn from each other. Someone else might know that how to strategize. And as I mentioned, that in different circles, there are different kinds of responsibilities that are involved. And yeah, everyone is most welcome to join two circles maximum, because otherwise it becomes overwhelming. And yeah, so we want to strategize it in that way, that everyone is most welcome to join two circles, so that they can contribute in their way, and also we can learn from each other in that way. So of course, to it's a yes to your question.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else has any questions? I got a lot of questions in my inbox though. I could not respond to all of you yet, but I will do it very soon. Yes, Rainier, please unmute yourself.
Hi. Yeah, like first of all, like thank you for like all this work. I know it's like a lot of work on your side, like just get putting all of this together. And it sounds great. Like congratulations, it's a great idea. I'm actually very excited about like everything that can come through it. I have one question. After this meeting, like, is there any way, like, a preferred way to actually like view the communication, or like, for people that have more questions, or for people that want to join the cycles, or like they have ideas or anything? What would be the best way to communicate with you or with other members if we're not trying to like follow on? It's kind of difficult to do it on the Facebook group. And and you were like mentioning on during the presentation about like these groups or files that were set up or like Dropbox or like I don't know. Um, can you share that information also?
Of course. So one by one, what would be the best way to communicate? So after the meeting, in the next few days, I will send you all a Google form to fill out to ask if, first of all, if you're interested to join any circle. If so, then which circle it would be. So once you fill out, so there, let's say there would be 1 week to fill out the form, and after 1 week, let's say if somebody is in the fund and grants circle, or let's say business development circle, whatever it is, I will reach out to all of you and I will create a separate group with the, let's say with 10 people, 20 people, whatever the number of people would be available or interested in each circle. So yeah, so in that way it would be focused and also clear for the members of the those eight circles that what we are talking about. For example, if we like Facebook, it's yeah, it's a mess. I mean, on Facebook, yeah, I everybody's talking about something else, and it's very hard to follow, and there is no focus, there is no clarity, and it's very yeah, it's impossible to follow track. So there would be different threads of messages. For example, I would think of different Facebook message threads because we all came together on Facebook, and migrating to a different platform can be difficult. For example, in Berlin, it's very common to use, let's say, Telegram or Slack or Discord. Um, but it might not be easy for everyone from around the world. So, as Facebook is our common kind of unit, so the thread would be different. You can think of in terms of different message threads. So, one message thread is for each circle, and each of you, whoever is, you know, would show interest in whichever circle, you would be a member of that circle, and we will continue discussing the relevant matters in its circle. And if you have any question, anything specific, you are always most welcome to reach out to me via Facebook and also via the info@allaboutcurating.com email address from where you actually all received the invitation. And yeah, did I answer all your questions or did I miss any?
Yeah, you did. You did. Thank you.
Okay. You're very much welcome. And yeah, if anybody has any question, maybe now or later, just never feel hesitated to reach out. Really, always, always, always. I always get very excited to see your messages and all these beautiful ideas. And yeah, Kashfia. Hey, Kashfia.
Hi, Rothiapo. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I was just curious about the circles in general. Like, suppose somebody joined a circle already. They're already part of two circles, right? But further down the road, they feel like they would maybe want to step back from a circle and join another one. And I'm wondering if this is a possibility.
Of course, of course. It's like really relaxed and really chill. The whole idea of the first phase is to try out that, to learn from each other and also what's comfortable for us and what we do the best and what we find most exciting. So yeah, it's all about this test basically for the platform, but also for the people who are involved in its circles. So of course it's possible to step back and join a different circle. But in that case, you would have to consider one circle because yeah, it can always be maximum two, unless there is any yeah, any changes or yeah. Miriam, hi.
Hi everyone. Hi Mazabeen. Thank you so much for this. I'm so happy to be part of it. I just had a follow-up question about the timeline for phase 1. Like, is it a few months or what sort of like timeline do you have in mind? And I was wondering if it would be possible to learn a little bit more about the possible tasks in each circle so that we would get an idea of where we can best contribute.
Yes, of course. Would it help, like, if you pick, let's say, one circle, because each circle would have different tasks or responsibilities? Which circle do you have in mind? Maybe I can give you a bit more information about that, and or should I just pick anyone?
Maybe the website creation one.
Website creation, perfect.
I'm interested.
Okay. And so for the timeline, to answer your first question, for the timeline, I did put it in the presentation, but then I removed it because for each phase, it's always not like that we finish phase 1 and then we go to phase 2. For example, what do I mean by that? So in phase 1, we are collecting this data, we are forming circles, defining responsibilities, etc., etc. And in phase 2, we will be publishing the blogs and forums. But if we want to publish it in phase 2, we can't wait for until phase 2, right? The work has to start in phase 1 already. So you can think of phase 1 and 2 for like 2 quarters, for example, Q1 and Q2, like the first and second quarter of 2024 would be phase 1, and the second and third quarter of 2024 would be phase 2. And for phase 3, we would have to decide it as a community together, collaboratively, that how we are defining it. Because to design the courses and offer workshops and etc., it has to come in phases, and that requires a lot of effort and strategies, and also brainstorming, a lot of different things. So that's your question. That's the answer for, and in terms of timeline. And the tasks, for example, the editorial circle, for example, or the maybe the data collection circle. Maybe that's because that's one of the biggest tasks we have right now. So for the data collection circle, the responsibilities would be take charge of certain tasks. For example, creating a massive list of educational programs. We already have a lot in our, let's say, MA programs. Another group member, she was working on the online courses, like on curation. So collecting this information, for example, you, Miriam, took charge of the BA programs on curation, on art curation. And then you find these programs and you fill all this information in the shared Google spreadsheet, and then everyone else from the circle can also have an access to there. It can also be in terms of, let's say, artist collective around the world, and who are the artist collective there. So someone else, let's say Kashfia, for example. I'm giving Kashfia's reference because I knew her from for a long time, and we were also working together. So like Kashfia, she is a very good writer, editor, an amazing person, a human being, and she's an expert of editorial tasks. So let's say Kashfia takes responsibility of the like 1 month in the editorial sector, editorial circle. And then she finds these books and magazines and blogs or any sorts of publication relevant to art curation. So these are the kind of tasks. I don't want to go into too much detail because then it becomes confusing. And but so far, that would be the overview of its circles or how the tasks would look like. Of course, I'm always very much open to hear more, that if somebody has anything to add, how we can do it better. And yeah. Did I answer your question? Okay, great. Anyone else have any question? I'm gonna look in the chat. Georgina. Hi, Georgina. It's good to see you here. Dominica, David. Thank you, David. David said, thank you, Mazabin. Great project, really exciting. I look forward to joining your journey and great meeting everyone. Thank you, David. We're looking forward to having you with us. Is there any question? Amy asked if I could share the list of the circles, of course. 1 second. Just for your information, this meeting is being recorded. So we will share the recordings with all of you afterwards, and also those who did not manage to join us today. So it would be also available for them. Yeah, so you would also have the opportunity to see the entire presentation in the form of the YouTube video. So yeah, these are the circles. Maybe you can take a quick screenshot if you like. I would have to stop sharing because I would also like to read the other questions. So here you go. But if you need, you can, or if you want, you can also reach out to me later. I can also send you a quick photograph of the circles. Yepi, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correct, asked if possible, hopefully the platform could move to Slack or WhatsApp group, but not Facebook because there are so many messy information nowadays. Yes, I agree with you. But as I already mentioned, that yeah, it's kind of which is a great thing that we all are literally from all over the world, and but in different parts of the world, people are comfortable with different platforms and different infrastructure. So migrating to a different circle, a different platform would be difficult at this stage. But if a specific circle wants to, move it or transfer it to a different platform, I'm very much open to that. Yeah. So for now, it would be a dedicated message thread on Facebook, in the starting at least for different circles. Judith, I'm glad to participate in. I know in which circle I would like to belong. Excellent project. Congratulations, Mazabin. I would like to share some more ideas. Thanks. It is an amazing project. Well done and organized. I'm excited to continue with this. Thank you so very much, Judith. And I
Thank you.
I loved all of our conversations in the chat. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Yeah. Saba's network is unstable, so she can't talk. It's okay. Okay, so I think there are some more questions. Yeah, thank you for understanding the current infrastructure situation, EP. And Sadia, the screen is a bit blurred, so maybe you can send the presentation or certain pages of it in the emails to all members. Yes, Sadia, of course, I will certainly do that. As I mentioned that it would be, the call is recorded, so I will need a few days to process everything and make it organized, and so that I can send everyone in a proper way. So yeah, just allow me a few days and I will definitely send it to everyone. And in the meantime, if you have any burning question or want or wishes to know about any specific page from the presentation, please let me know and I will send a screenshot or an image or anything that works for both of us. So yeah, so that would be it. and we are actually very much good on time. It's 1 hour. And yeah, if there is no other question, I would like to end our first meeting today. But also, I would like to invite you for the next meeting. So every month on the first weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, we will be doing a members meeting from now on. And today was the first, so it was mostly me talking all the time and sharing all the ideas and visions with every one of you. But from the next meetings, there would be each circle would share their updates that okay from let's say business development circle we did this, or from data collection circle we achieved that, so on and so forth. So it would be the team members who would be also presenting themselves and also sharing the updates with the rest of the community. So you are very much invited to join the next meeting. And I will definitely send a notification and invitation in time. So yeah, that's all. That's it for today. One last time, if any questions, please ask it away. If not, we will meet next time. I see a lot of questions. I will have to end the meeting, so I might not be able to read them all before ending. So please, Lorena, I see your message, and Kashfia, Sadia, yeah, send me a message in private, please, or send me an email. Yeah, I'm very glad to see you all. And yeah, thank you so much for coming in and joining this meeting. And yeah, it's amazing to have you all together. And I would be very much excited to see you all next time, and also to receive what you have in mind. Yeah, so take care, everybody, and good night. And I don't know, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are at. And see you next time. Bye
See
bye.
you. Bye bye.
Bye. Take care.
See you. Bye bye.
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 Bye, Kailash.